So today we're going to be going over 10 fragrances that turn nuclear in the high summer heat. Oftentimes it can be a bit hard to find a lighter summer fragrance that has really good performance, especially if you're starting to pick these fragrances up in perhaps the winter or early spring when it's not that hot outside and you can't fully test them in the heat. Because a lot of times when you wear a fragrance out into the high summer heat and the sun is beating down and it's very warm outside, that will cause that fragrance to open up and project more and just behave a lot stronger. And that's the same reason why you don't wear stuff like Spice Bomb Extreme out in the summertime, because it would just be way too strong. It's already a strong fragrance, and you combine all that heat and humidity in the sun, it's just going to get out of control. And because we are well into spring and on our way to summer here pretty quickly, I wanted to go over some scents that really come alive in the heat and really project and push out and are just very strong in the summertime. If you want to get noticed, if you want to get compliments, if you want to get positive feedback when it's nice outside, these are going to be for you. Now, if you want to grab any of these for yourselves, I will link them down below to Discounter so you can pick them up without having to pay full retail. Let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into it. First one up, we have Rassasi Havas. Ambroxan, watery notes, and bergamot are some of the main notes in this one. Now you'll notice here that I have a full bottle. If you guys remember, probably, I don't know, a month or so ago, I did a review on this one from a decant, actually from Decant X, and so they sent that out to me. I was able to review it, that sort of thing. It's one that I've just been putting off for a long time. And in that video, I said that I really like this one and that I was going to get a full bottle. And I did purchase this one off of, I think Fragrance Net is probably where I got this one. And I will, again, link it down below so you can get it for a good price. And I'm so glad that I do have a bottle of it now. I have plenty of it that I can wear through the summertime. And as I was testing from that sample more and more and wearing it out when we had some, 80-degree plus days, it was really pushing out and getting very strong. This stuff is already a pretty strong scent, but when you combine that heat, it just goes crazy. So if you want a playful, fun, and fruity scent with a bit of an aquatic touch and a nice ambroxan, and you want that for summertime, something that's going to get great compliments and just be very fun and playful, this one here is the way to go. It's not that expensive and it's worth it. It's a great bang for your buck. So moving along, we do have one that is going to be a bit more expensive here from the House of Creed. This one is Aventus Cologne. This one's been making a regular appearance here on the channel just because I've been kind of obsessed with it. And really, for me, there's something about it that's addicting. I like the Aventus DNA in here with that orange. It just smells so good. And really, when you use orange in fragrances, it can take something that is maybe familiar or that you've smelled before, and it just completely changes it, makes it different, makes it more exciting, and that's what they did here. You get some ginger, you get some vetiver, you get birch, so it's a bit spicy. It's bright, it's vibrant, and it smells fantastic, especially in the heat. When you put a lot of heat on this one, it picks up a tiny bit of a sweetness, but still nothing crazy. It still smells great. As I've had this bottle for a while now and I've been wearing it, starting to put a dent in it, I found that the performance has been picking up on my skin. I remember the first couple sprays out of this bottle when I first got it, it wasn't performing all that great. But over time, as there's been a chance for some air to work into the bottle and it started to been able to settle, it has been getting stronger here as I've been wearing it, especially in the high heat. If you got a little bit of extra money to spend and you want to spring for something nice to smell amazing in the high summer heat, Aventus Cologne is a really nice option. Following along, we have Azarochrome Aqua. Love the bottle on this one. Sea notes, grapefruit, basil, and mint are some of the main notes. So for a lot of these Azarochromes, you're going to have mint, you're going to have aquatic notes of some sort. You get an herbal basil in here, nice citrus up top, nice grapefruit. Smells really nice. I like this Aqua flanker. To be fair, I like a lot of them. This one is a bit different though. It's got a bit of kind of a clean, fresh lavender, but it also has a tiny bit of a playful semi-sweetness. Again, it's not going too sweet here because this is a video to wear these out in the summertime, but I remember last year wearing this one out in the summer quite a bit. Even when I would be recording outside, I'd have this one sprayed on, and man, it would open up so much in the heat. This one is not that expensive at all. It's an Azarochrome flanker, and these go for really cheap on discounters, usually in the $20 to $30 range. So if you want something nice and affordable, a great dumb reach for summertime that really opens up when you get some heat on it, check this one out. Moving along, we have Ferragamo Uomo urban feel. Bergamot, ambroxan, and ozonic notes are going to be some of the main notes in this one. Now, I sprayed this one on the other day and I was so impressed. I've smelled it before. I've done videos on this before, or I think I did a buying guide where I was featuring this one, so it was nothing new. But I forgot that I actually really like how this smells. Smelling that up in the air, it just smells very pleasant. And sure, it's a familiar smell, but at the same time, it's familiar but done right. You know, they really hit the nail on the head here with this one, creating something that's going to be fresh and bright and uplifting for the warm weather. It is light and airy and ozonic. You get quite a bit of ambroxan in here, giving it a fuzziness. You get the bergamot up top and just a nice muskiness as well. Again, it's not going to blow you away, but it may impress you, and you may end up liking it better than you initially thought you would. And again, once you get some heat on this one, it opens up, it sparkles, it gets stronger, and it's just an amazing experience. Following that, we have Yves Saint Laurent Y Eau de Parfum. This one has to be one of the strongest summer fragrances that I have, and when you put it out there in the heat, it just opens up and smells to die for. Apple, sage, amberwood, and ginger are going to be some of the main notes. So for me, it's all about the apple and the amberwood primarily. You get a sweetness from the apple, nice fruity opening. You get a lot of amberwood, which is basically like an ambroxan, so kind of a blue fragrance leaning type of thing. The sage is in there, giving it a bit of an herbal touch, and then some other citrus as well. It works so good though. I don't know really what it is about this that I like so much. I mean, I know that it obviously smells good to me. It's got good performance. But, you know, sometimes you pick up something that has a certain combination of notes and is done in a certain way that just resonates with you. And that's always been Yves Saint Laurent Y Eau de Parfum for me. This stuff has always worked great. And again, wearing it outdoors in the warm weather, it just goes crazy. Now, some may argue that this is a little bit on the sweeter side for summer, and I wouldn't disagree with you there, for sure. This has a bit more sweetness and a bit more depth to it, to where if it is really hot, you're going to notice that. But I don't necessarily think that that makes it a bad choice. It's all personal preference, you know. It's kind of one of those things where if you want your scent to turn a bit sweeter in the summertime, maybe for more of a head-turning effect, then you can go for Yves Saint Laurent Y EDP. Sometimes you may want something that's going to be a bit more bright and refreshing, like a Dior Homme Cologne, and that will cool you off. You could go for that too. It's really just up to you, but I think this one is still a really nice option for summertime. And I mean, if you want something that's very strong longevity and projection wise, you can't pass this stuff up. Up next, we have one of my favorite fresh scents from Parfums de Marly. This one is Sedley. Ambroxan, mint, lavender, and lemon are some of the main notes. It's all about that mint for me, all about that lavender and that ambroxan in here, and a bunch of other citrus as well. This is one of my favorites from the line, just in general. Even when you're not talking about the fresh ones, when you're talking about, you know, Layton, Carlisle, this is still up there, pretty high as one of my favorites. I don't like it more than Layton, I don't like it more than Carlisle, but it's up there on the list more than you may think. Now, when I got this, I actually bought Percival at the same time. So I bought Sedley, I bought Percival, I got them both off of Fragrance Net. I'm like, all right, I just need to start getting into this brand. You guys were requesting me to talk about Parfums de Marly all the time, and you know, when I was getting into these, I didn't really have any. Maybe I picked up Layton first, but other than that, I basically had no Parfums de Marly. I'm like, all right, I need to get these two. They're very well regarded in the community for summer scents, and when I got them both in, I was indifferent. I liked both of them quite a bit, but I didn't really know which one was my favorite. Over time, as I was testing them more and I've been wearing them more, Sedley has come out ahead, and at this point, it's by a pretty significant margin. Percival is a bit too musky. It reminds me a bit too much of a fragrance like Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch, just that style of scent. All musk and woods basically. This one I find is a bit more vibrant and bright, and it's just very pleasing, very satisfying. That mint and ambroxan up top is just sexy. This is a sparkling, sexy summertime fragrance. I can't deny it. Being a Parfums de Marly, it is going to be a bit more expensive, but it's worth the money. It's got good performance. It's got great quality. The bottle, of course, is nice, and I like the fact that you can see through the bottle on this one. It's not a painted bottle. Very, very nice all around, and I'm so glad I have this one. It's one I'm going to be wearing a lot in the summertime. Following along, we have one of the most hyped up fragrances from John Varvatos. This one, of course, is Artisan Pure, and I'm sure you saw that one coming. Clementine, petitgrain, lemon, and orange are some of the main notes. So you get like a neroli feel that's coming from the petitgrain. You get that clementine and the orange right up top right away. You get the lemon, you get some other citruses as well, and you just get overall an herbal feel. And a lot of that, like I mentioned, is coming from the petitgrain, giving off an herbal green smell and also giving off the smell of like a neroli. So it's very much a neroli, citrus, orange type of scent. Bit of a woodiness in here as well, and I cannot say that this is a bad smelling scent. In fact, it's the opposite. This stuff smells gorgeous, especially for a designer scent that doesn't cost you a whole lot of money. Now, one of the main gripes about John Varvatos fragrances is their performance, especially when you get into the fresher line and you're talking about Artisan, Artisan Blue, Artisan Aqua, whatever. They don't perform that great, and even some of the stronger ones still don't perform that good. But I find that Artisan Pure does pretty good on my skin, and I also find that with the addition of some heat and some sun and some humidity, just the summertime air, this one really does open up. It gets stronger, seems to last a bit longer on my skin. It likes to stick around when there's some heat on it, and it works much better. If you're wearing this in the wintertime, it's not going to last, and you're not going to get the full effect of it. I think this stuff needs heat to open up and fully develop, and that's when it smells its best. I mean, if you've never smelled Artisan Pure out in the summertime, you're missing out big time. It is beautiful. Let's go ahead and move on to a fragrance from Carven. This one is Carven Low Intense. Mint, lavender, and lemon are some of the main notes. Pretty simplistic there. Nothing too crazy. And even though the note breakdown doesn't look anything to write home about, the scent is actually really nice, very pleasant, and something different. I get a lot of a sparkling vibrance and almost herbaceousness from this one. Very much a summertime scent, one that you would wear if you're, by the garden or by, like a bed of flowers or something along those lines. It just has kind of almost a bit of an herbal smell and almost, in a way, like an earthiness, but not a dirty earthiness, like just a grassy green earthiness, that sort of thing. It just reminds me of the outdoor summertime. Smells fantastic, and again, when you get some heat on this one, it opens up, it gets strong, it really develops, and it smells even better. Up next, we have a scent from Hugo Boss. This one is Reversed. Grapefruit, rosemary, and vetiver are some of the main notes for me. This one I discovered in summer. I believe we're looking at 2 years ago at this point, 3 years ago, something. And I still love it. My girlfriend still loves it. I find that when you do get heat on this one, it does come to life a lot more than wearing it in the wintertime. That rosemary gives it a nice herbal, unique scent. The grapefruit sparkles and pops off the opening. The vetiver is a nice, mild, woody vetiver. Nothing too crazy, nothing too strong. This is another one that's very simplistic. There's not a whole lot of notes. In fact, the 3 that I listed off are about it. Maybe I'm missing 1 or 2 more. Those are just kind of the prominent ones that I pick up on, and that's really all they give you. Nothing too crazy unique, but very pleasant and also just a bit out of place from the rest of the Hugo Boss line. Everything else is very citrus, very fresh, and they all kind of run together, but I do find that this one stands apart from the others very well, which is why I like it so much. And last up, we have Molecule 2 by Eccentric Molecules. This one is an ambroxan scent. That's all, focuses on one note, and for Molecule 2, it is ambroxan. It's fuzzy, it's sparkling, it's fresh, but it's also kind of sweet, very unique, very interesting. This one lasts a very long time on skin. It comes and goes in waves, so you may spray it on and think it's gone 5 minutes later, but trust me, it is not. You're going to pick up on it a while later, and chances are people around you are going to be picking up on it throughout the entire day. And if you wear this one out in the summertime, that heat is going to make it project even more, and you're going to be pulling a ton of compliments from this one. It's kind of one of those unexpected compliment getters. You may not think much about it. You may forget that you even sprayed this one on. But when you start having people ask you what you're wearing and complimenting you, you got to remember that you put on Molecule 2. This stuff, it just works. So guys, that's going to do it for me. That was 10 fragrances that turn nuclear in the summer heat. Hopefully this helps you guys out if you're after some things that just perform really good when it is hot outside and you want something that's just going to turn heads. Remember, if you want to pick any of these up, I will link them down below to discounters. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.